All right, so we take a minute. You can go through the PowerPoint and label all these parts of the typical neuron. This is just a typical nerve cell. And then we're going to go through some definitions. So first, the dendrites. The dendrites are here. Right here, they look like the little deer antlers. These things right here are the dendrites. And as the definition says, they look like deer antlers or tree branches or tree roots. And that is the whole benefit of them looking like that all spread out, so that they can get lots and lots of information from all parts of your body. And that is what dendrites are for. They look like deer antlers or roots, and their job is to receive input, receive signals. Okay. In the cell body is this main part of the cell. Here's your cell body. And in intermediate school or in 9th grade, you labeled all the parts of a cell. Here is your typical cell. It has all the organelles. And all those organelles include the neurofibrils and the nucleus and the mitochondria that you labeled earlier. So let's take a look at what those cells organelles do. The nucleus. The nucleus is all about controlling protein synthesis. That's where the genes are. Neurons have to have a nucleus. All cells need a nucleus except for red blood cells, but that's a different chapter. All right, mitochondria. Nerve cells have lots of mitochondria. Why? They need lots of energy. All those mitochondria are for energy production. Actually, it's estimated like a third of your calories go just to work your brain. And that's just like normal, everyday, just eating, breathing, existing. That doesn't mean that you're actually exercising or using your brain to learn anything new. So that's a lot of calories that go to work just your brain. So you'll find that nerve cells had lots and lots of mitochondria, very similar to your muscle cells that had lots and lots of mitochondria. All right, Nissl bodies. I think your textbook labels it as Nissl substance. Regardless, these are little organelles. An anatomist with the last name of Nissl discovered them. He actually developed the staining process that allowed him to see them, and so they named the bodies after him. But a few years later, we figured out that what those bodies were rough endoplasmic reticulum. And that rough endoplasmic reticulum has lots and lots of ribosomes. Well, what is that for? Ribosomes are all for protein synthesis. Well, why do nerves need protein synthesis? Nerves have to make protein, specifically neurotransmitters. Those neurotransmitters, do you recall when we did muscle, we had acetylcholine. Acetylcholine was one of the neurotransmitters. Maybe you've heard of serotonin, which is a mood stabilizer. Maybe you've heard of dopamine. D-O-P-A-M-I-N. Dopamine, which is also a neurotransmitter, a mood elevator. Well, those neurons can't go to the dopamine store, can't go to the serotonin store to buy them. They actually have to make these proteins. And so that protein synthesis of the neurotransmitters happens inside the Nissl bodies. Next, neurofibrils. The neurofibrils are protein fibers, and they help maintain the shape of the neuron, and they help the neuron move. Now, are you telling me that nerves move? Well, they move in the sense of trees moving. And hopefully I can find this link. trees don't actually get up and move, but their branches move. And so in this video, you can see, this is kind of weird, it's a video of a video. You can see the axons moving and connecting with there we go. Okay. So here you can see these axons are moving. These aren't axons, these are dendrites, and they're making connections with other cells. Dendrites, not axons. Okay. So these axons are moving because of the neurofibrils. So this is reaching out to making a connection over here, and this is reaching out to make a connection over here. Now what you see over here is actually extension of the axon and collateral branches of the axon. So this, while this nerve is not increasing in number, it is actually increasing in size. And what's happening with him increasing in size? He's learning, he's remembering, he's making connections. Look at that neuron grow. Okay. And that actually growth and movement of the dendrites is possible because of the neurofibrils. Okay. And then we have collateral branch. That's just a branch off the main axon. You can see it here. The collateral branch is this area right here. The axon hillock, maybe I jumped ahead. The axon hillock is this area right here. Axon hillock. Okay. Looks kind of like a bird, right? Bird head, the bird eye. The beak of the bird is the axon hillock. There's my bird. Just kidding. It's not really a bird. All right. Moving back here. Axon, that's the long fiber. That's the nerve fiber. It's long and it's skinny. It extends all the way from the cell body to the end of the neuron, and that's what carries the signal. Then you have the axon terminal, which terminals are the end, and that's what will connect with the next cell. It might be another nerve cell, it might be a gland, it might be a muscle. So in this picture, this yellow thing in the center of this is the axon, and right here at the end are the axon terminals. We've already talked about the collateral branch, how that's just a branch off of the new or the main tree trunk. Schwann cells. Schwann cells are cells that wrap around the axon. They roll up and form a myelin sheath in the peripheral nervous system. I'll show you a video next that shows you specifically how the Schwann cells form and what difference that makes.